Good afternoon. I hopefully you're gonna enjoy your drive today. In California, 30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I always don't like saying the Pacific Standard Time because it's like still 5:30. And also, we're looking into Fire Song over in the first DLC of Necrom. This is some good stuff. Right over here. If you don't know what everything how it works, that's okay. That's what other people are for, and they'll be able to help you, and that will help you grow. So that's a really good thing. And if you might be a little upset from what I had written here yesterday in other places throughout the web. Um, it's a literal problem going on over in fandom, and you think of Fire Song fandom, fandom Fire Song, fandom Fire Song. Well, there's some problems going down. Well, place I used to work at, the the mouse, not a real life rodent, but an important electronic that helps out Elder Scrolls was stolen. And I like to think of that electronic mouse having been part of the company in Elder Scrolls. And so what I wrote in is this is the hard truth to swallow. I had written that just my eyes won't be able to see the Spanish language. If things get worse, the Spanish language, as much as I like I like people, but I can't take to things coming up missing or people going into the system and erasing information from people. It doesn't work that way. And so I'm just going to explain this for those of you guys to make this a little bit easier. This sounds kind of weird, but this is the truth. Okay, Brad Derrick is a Charlie. Okay, Jeremy Soley is a Phil. You get it? I am a Scott. In life, this is how it works. So just bear with us. It's not everything's perfect, and when you look into the DLC and going further on into Necrom, you're just gonna be like, cut Necrom. I'm like, no, we we like Necrom. Part of the reason why I have stayed back, I saw this before, and this might go on for years. Have stayed back in High Isle because I saw the split before. And so what has to happen is we have to look into things like the music, which is very, very important to me and others. That's basically the only thing that we have to transmit over with a picture, and then going over in the in-game in-game thing for us. There's many things that go on with the whole game system, and that's what I'm trying to explain. Where there's voice actors, there's people that talk about Elder Scrolls, there's people who play Elder Scrolls, there's people who work on the game systems in which the games can be played. And so when we're looking into Firesong, you're probably thinking, Firesong, that's not very good. I don't want to deal with Firesong. Oh, but I do. Oh, I'm imagining going into Baster. Vasta, Vaster. We found a left, and then the problem that I'm seeing, and you guys will see too. There's three parts that have to get done in fandom, and I'm apparently the one that puts these things in fandom. So just to let you know, it's a migraine, because the first step, as we're in the second quarter of Elder Scrolls, we're gearing towards here in December, going into the third quarter. I'm glad that I had wrote that down of when the quartering system goes. So when you look at like what the heck, what quarter are we in? All you gotta do is go into the elderscrolls.com, and you can see the quartering system, kind of like a quarter horse. Maybe it's Dragon Horse. Maybe it's Rebel. All you gotta know, Fire Song's coming in. So we're coming in strong. Okay. On the second part, not so much. On the second picture, this is just horrible. This goes back to the person who had taken the electronic mouse. They have gone into the system in which they're not supposed to. They're like, well, what can I go into? There's many things that, like, when people were like, yeah, well, you can, well, you messed up before. You can go in there. Not someplace. People that are in the place already and working in a specific spot, they're like, I don't want them in there. This this gets rid of the problem. Of course, I don't want to see the Spanish language go away, but like that culture they keep on stealing. There ain't gonna be no Spanish language at all. At all. Like, they won't even understand what the NA server is. They won't even understand what a network is. They won't even understand what a screen is. They won't even understand what their hand is. And what I'm explaining is the Scribes of Fate cover has been released. And there's been so many things that have gone on side of the system that irks us to the bone. What I'm explaining with the Elder Scrolls soundtrack, the 5th version has been erased. And I am working on that to get that back in. So if you're sitting there like laughing, yeah, it's not really a laughing matter, because those of you kids that are watching and don't and look like, yeah, that's kind of difficult to do, because it is. And so if you're not supposed to be touching buttons that you're not supposed to be touching, well, you better not touch those buttons. So I'm trying to get the game screen in, and that's the whole goal. That's a super difficult thing. Need a whole team to go in. There's some major issues. If you are in Twitch and you're watching Twitch right now, you will kind of understand like the tension that I'm feeling. It's because one of the wording branches have been placed up on the top left. You'll look at that and you're like, how the heck did that get up there? I didn't put it up there, but somebody put it up there. It wasn't an imaginary bot. It was somebody who put it up there, or it was the system that didn't recognize a code, and we have to go inside. We're glad to go in and fix the bugs, but we're not happy to fix the bugs when we know a human bug went into the system and changed around the system because they thought it was cute. Then goes along more of the lines where they erase the picture of Necron. Then the next thing they do is they erase the picture of Firesong. Then they decide they want to erase the Skyrim picture. Then they decide they want to erase Arena picture. Then they decide they want to erase their own personal picture. Then they decide they want to erase other people's pictures. And then, if people don't get it, they keep on erasing things until people understand they're going to keep on destroying things. That's when things have to be put to a halt. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, this is like Fire Song Jaws. Uh huh. The jaws, the jaws of Vaster. You get into the jaws of Vaster. Oh, you are in trouble. Delef will even tell you. Mhm. And so going here yesterday, last night, this was a really good thing. This is some really good test study of where getting the game onto the screen. Now there's a point here in radio communications. This is an important step for us to understand. There's just certain things you can't go into, and there's some things that you can go into. Well, for one, if you haven't paid for something, well, you're not going to be able to go in. But if you've paid for those certain channels that that you're specifically like going into, yeah, you want to look at it, you're like, hey, I want that to work. That would be a good thing. And so in here, um, the game, like uh, Blackwood was not functioning. So what I'm explaining is the importance of Blackwood was seen. I'm going to use this side or this example. You see my hands like waving. Meow 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 meow. Blackwood butterfly. Blackwood butterfly. Blackwood butterfly. You see? Okay. So this was right. Blackwood and Firesong are two related game TLCs. I know. Okay. I'm just going to explain that they're two different games, but they're related, and they have to be related in order for us to understand. Like, get the clap, get the clap. We got a connection, but we don't have a connection. See what I'm saying? Now, this is good teaching study. So listen up, students. Okay, so this is you see what I'm saying? This is Blackwood. Okay, this is Firesong. Okay, get it? Blackwood, Firesong. Blackwood, Firesong. Okay, now this is just Blackwood. We are just in Blackwood. We're just in Blackwood. And you're like, where's Firesong? We're like, oh, we need a Firesong. Oh, we've got the Firesong. We've got Firesong. Need a connection. Oh, we do have a connection, but we don't see Firesong. Um, uh, I see Blackwood. I see Blackwood. No, you don't. You don't see Blackwood. No, you don't. I don't see Blackwood. All I see is a black screen. And that's how it is. And what I'm talking about in the transmittance of the screen, we need the proper tools to work so we can see the screen like over up in comparison. It's like, yay, we're going into the screen. That's a really good thing. But we have to have the proper licenses and the proper tools for the screen to be seen. See what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, grabbing whoop whoop whoop. Firesong is online. When when Fire Song just like first came out, I was over All Flags. Um, is Slit, I think is what All Flags is called, and I noticed on the online side the Fire Song came in, and so I was like, oh cool, like what? I went into the door, and it said, hey, Fire Song's available, Fire Song, ding 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 ding, Fire Song alert, Fire Song's available. I was like, huh? So I go in there, and this is when Fire Song first came in. I tried to I tried to get like I tried to buy, but I couldn't buy. Like I was inside of All Flags on the just the front door. And before I went in, or I went out, I think it was. I was like, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything while I was inside of All Flags. So I go outside of All Flags. Well, there's another user in there. I'm trying to communicate to the user. "Hey, is Firesong working for you, or is like can you help?" All they were doing is just I am doing my magic tricks, but they didn't communicate back to me. So this is an important thing to know, whether you press a button or you do not press a button. Well, of course, I want you to chat, but what it's kind of coming down to, I think, is you want to be an Elder Scrolls person in order to chat inside of here. Inside of any of the channels that you might be watching, you want to make sure that you're an Elder Scrolls person. That's kind of what I'm assuming. Like on the example of Blackwood Firesong. Okay, I'm using the Blackwood and Firesong example as in there's a Blackwood screen and there's a Firesong screen. There's one screen that is working. See what I'm saying? This screen is working. This screen is not moving. We have to have the tools work to where we can move around in the in Elder Scrolls. And you see what I'm saying? There's a new thing going on in Elder Scrolls. It's called daily logging in November. You get rewards for logging in every day here in November. So you're like, yay! Okay, I'm going to shut up. And hopefully you've learned a little bit of what I've said, and get to it. Okay, just got back in here and talking about Fire Song and Blackwood and the connection between ESO and no, what is the connection to ESO and I was thinking it's somewhere in here. There's a trivia question. What tribe is Sharp originally from? That's a good question for those of you that are Necron players. Does Sharp show up in Fire Song? Good question. Good question. Well, you can visit www.elderscrollsonline.com for more info today. Pretty sweet. You can find out Fire Song and the other DLCs in Elder Scrolls. Super sweet stuff. So what I'm going to do here is a little teaching lesson, which is a good thing. You kids will love this. You're like, what does this have to do with Fire Song? Well, it has a lot to do with Fire Song. Lots to do with Fire Song. Lots to do with Fire Song. Because Fire Song is being presented during this time. And in the second, it's what's called the second quarter. If you're in school, you're like, whoa, I like this. This is like, I like this. I like this picture. It says, it's like, what is it? What does this have to do? What does this have to do with ESO? Very so. Very so. Mm-hmm. So, dong dong. I mean, like that's Medusa. Like what? Like wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yes, there's that eyes. What is this? Oh yeah, this is. Oh yes, this new fire like kids. You're like I'm that character in Fire Song. So I'm like, what is this? So in order for us to get further into the system, you're like, how the heck do we even understand? Well, it's by knowledge and some help. You're like second quarter, like that doesn't look like second quarter, like second half. So we've got the second hot, but we have the first. Oh. So how do we figure out that I'm even talking about Firesong? Well, I'm talking about you kids that are this imaginary player. They have bulging eyes that are beautiful. You're the first. You kids are the first. Like, how do you understand what Elder Scrolls Online is? Well, the little underline will kind of help you with ESO. I think your ABCs, you're like ESO, ESO, ESO. I'm the first. But then old veterans, I'm the second. Then the first is like, hey, second, how'd you learn that second? Then second's like, I've been around the block. And then the first is like, well, you better do your homework, second. So what has to happen here is one person here as the first is like, I am the best. I am going to take that. That is the best. And you ain't taking it from me. Mm-hmm. So very good, very good, very good, very good. So I'm going to go over, we have to go over 3 things. Okay, so 3 things I have for you is this is the major point. We have a listing of this is your homework. You need to figure out which place you're going to concentrate in your field. This is some good homework. And so what I'm talking about is I need 2 of these. I need 2 things. I need 2 things. And you kids, you just need 1. You see what I'm saying? I need all 3, but currently I need 2 of the things for Firesong to completely work. Okay? So you kids have to understand what I'm talking about, where you will want to just concentrate on 1 place. And that's what I'm explaining with those of you that are in the second spot. You really want to just concentrate on one little lad. Well, you might be a family that has a bunch of lads, but what I'm explaining is, like, in real life, you really just want to stay in 1 field. Me, in particular, I have to get all these stupid things to make the 1 thing work. So I have to convince some of you that I need 2 of these things that are coming in that I'm referring to right now. So right now we're going to learn our ABCs. These are the 3 major consoles in gaming. And so what I'm going to explain to you guys, you kiddos and you older kiddos, how this works. We're in ESO Street, I guess, if you want to call it. Like, no, I thought it was in the ESO Quarter. No, we're all in the street. We're all the first. We're all the first. No, I don't want to be the first. But you're listening. So you're gonna have to listen a little bit. Now this is what's called the alphabet. And that's a big, big, long word. And it's not so easy to understand. Stray dog, no. Okay. So I got the stray dog in line. So we have 3 consoles that I'm referencing of what I need. And so I have to convince those of you that I need two of the consoles. So what I'm going to do here, it's not the PTS. It's not the PTS. Well, the PTS could have a board. Probably does have a board. I don't know. But what I'm explaining is that I have to get 3 consoles running. Okay, so you kids are gonna look at this like, yeah, I'm just staying with 1 console, and that's what I'm explaining for those of you kids. When you do get older, you're gonna be able to play on 1 console, and that's all you will want to play on. So going further, we want to go in alphabetical order. We want to go in order. And so the 3 consoles that are being looked at is PlayStation, Steam, and Xbox. So we have the first as a P. The second is S. The third is X. PSX. That's for the sweet console. I know. That just thinking about it is like oogling over like, oh, I can't wait till it gets a PSX. This would be great. So what we have to do, since you're a smart kid, what are you going to go into? What are you going to be led into getting? Well, this is what I was led into, and so I'm just going to suggest to your parents on what console you should start out with. This is a good thing. For kids, I think this is a great console to start out with. Is Xbox for kids. Xboxes are an expensive thing. The Xboxes are very expensive. They're very expensive, and so I'm not like suggesting that you parents that you buy. Just watch this right now, and don't go out running out. I'm gonna get them, all of them, because you won't get all of them because you can't afford all of the consoles, and you're not gonna wanna spend your money on every console. And so what I'm talking about here, we're going in what's called alphabetical order. And so the second one is Steam. Meow. 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 I didn't even know how I got here. But we're getting there. So we have Steam and Xbox. Like, oh yes, we need play. Not PlayStation. PlayStation. Now, on the PlayStation, is it a capital S or is it a small s? It's probably a capital S, just because it looks better. That's pretty much how the company probably looks at that. Like, ooh, let's make it a capital S. So, is a PlayStation? Is it a capital S or a small s? Hmm. Well, I'm just going to use lowercase s because there's already an uppercase s already. And that's why I'm using, in this context, for a PlayStation, if there is a capital S, well, just go with me on this. This will make more sense later on. So we have the console. This is the ultimate console, the PSX. I was like, how does that work? You're not gonna want to know how this all in all, you're not gonna want to know how all of this works. You'll look at this and you'll want to know that I'm doing this on purpose. Of when I do have the consoles, that there will be a complete connection. I will be able to explain to you guys that are playing on an example Xbox if a PlayStation can play with an Xbox, or an Xbox can play with Steam, or Steam can play with a PlayStation. That's the key principle of what I'm explaining, and why you parents, why I want you to pay things like the one-time fee over on the elderscrolls.com is for the purpose to find out what actually connects up, how we're actually connected up. It's ultimately through ESO. And what I'm explaining with Elder Scrolls Online, for me to properly present to you guys that the system is working properly, is by me having a PlayStation console, a Steam console, and an Xbox console. That's the point I'm making, that I need a PlayStation and an Xbox console that will play Elder Scrolls Online, so I can explain whether or not something actually works. I can explain to you, like, if something works over in Steam, but I can't explain to you guys if something works in PlayStation or something works in Xbox currently. I've played on both Xboxes and PlayStations, but I'm not playing currently on them on Elder Scrolls. So what I'm explaining with this, to make Firesong a running game, I have to have a PlayStation, Steam, and an Xbox. So this is the lesson for you kiddos, and you older guys. You're gonna understand this. How you do not want to buy every console that is available. You just do not want to buy every single consoles that are available. The reason why, there's multiple reasons, because you're not gonna get a full connection. You see what I'm saying? There will be people, like, if you go above what you were supposed to, they'll either a company will take your take your consoles away, or there's multiple reasons, because as somebody who is yearning, yeah, there's probably people that are like, yeah, I want all those consoles. I want all those consoles. You don't. I don't want all of the consoles, but I have to get all of the consoles to present to you guys. You see what I'm saying now? Hopefully this makes a little bit more sense, in the long run. When you guys see me playing Elder Scrolls Online on the screen, you will definitely know that the system has been completed, and that's the important part. So then we can say, "Hey, he's got a PSX." Then what can happen is I can play with you guys that are watching this online currently. Pretty sweet stuff. Pretty sweet stuff. You might think you're a Reddit or a Discord. It's like, what are those beady eyes doing? So the next thought that comes in for how you parents are going to present an Xbox to your children. That's a big step. Well, for one thing, when a kid like receives a game system, oh, it's like such a good, such a fun thing to do with playing Elder Scrolls. This is why I'm presenting these three game systems at the point to where we want to grow in Elder Scrolls. Now, if you don't have any of these consoles, what I'm gonna suggest is if you do not have a console currently, look on buying a PlayStation later on. If you're just thinking of getting into Elder Scrolls, that's the first thought that came to my mind. Is those of you that do not have a console at all, a PlayStation is probably more than likely your best gaming system that you're going to be able to play with. Not just because I'm saying PlayStation should be bought by those of you. You might be like, hey, I like that Xbox. I like playing on. I like seeing those guys playing on Xbox. I want to be connected to those guys over on Xbox. But you might be meant to be playing on a PlayStation. Both systems, PlayStation, Steam, and Xbox, are all good consoles. The problem is that the consoles aren't totally connected up of what I do see from past experience. So I'm gonna leave it here for right now and let you guys kind of look at this for a little bit. I'll be back in here in a little bit. Okay, just got back and getting in here. This is some good stuff, good information to if you're getting into Elder Scrolls. This is kind of a little guide for those of you. And what I'm going to explain is you want to specifically stay in one console. You don't in Elder Scrolls you do not want to buy all of the consoles. There's certain purposes of why I need all of the consoles. It's not going to be because of playing all of the consoles all at the same time. Nobody can play all of the consoles at the same time. That's just not it's just not logical. It's not something that you would want to you would not want to be playing on a PlayStation, Steam, and an Xbox. You can possibly connect up and play on all of the systems at the same time, but your mind will explode. I'm not even joking. The what I'm explaining with the reason of why I need a PlayStation, Steam, and an Xbox is so we can all see the same thing. And what I'm talking about over in Firesong, this is gonna be a great thing. I don't want to play Firesong completely. I don't want to play it completely currently. Here in the future, yeah, I will want to get into Firesong later on, but that's gonna be years down the road. And I always go by sets of three. And so what I'm explaining with the in the music field of how we are having problems is it always goes down and we have to re-download. It's really crappy actually. And if you don't see Fire Song in on a soundtrack, it's because it's not available. And so what we have to do later on down the road, this might have to happen. I'm not for sure what's going to happen on that end of having Firesong have an original game soundtrack. That's something to look forward to in the future. For right now, this guide has to be used and has to be fulfilled in order for us to get to the next quarter. When you're in schooling, you want to make sure that you can get to the next quarter, to where you can finish your schooling, where you can finish a whole year of school. This right here is a guide for those of you kids and older kids. If you're an old fart like 99 years old, or if you are like 590 years old, well, you're most likely thinking like, yeah, I'm gonna just stay with the PlayStation because I like playing on PlayStation. And for those of you kids getting in, like, oh, I'm guaranteed, I'm ready. Like, wait, I don't have, wait, mom, daddy don't have the money to where I can play each month. Oh. See what I'm saying? If you buy your child a PlayStation, Steam, and an Xbox, you're not going to be able to afford what your child is asking for you to do. It doesn't come all at once. I can explain how, hey guys, bring me over a PlayStation and Xbox. We're set. That's the stepping point. That's like the stepping stone, if you want to call it, like little skipping rocks to where we can complete the system. If you are an older kid and you see this, you're going to be like, I can't afford all that, because you can't. It's highly improbable that you can pay for all of these systems all at the same time. If you try to pay for all of these systems in a month, you will be going further into debt. And what I'm explaining, this has to go in a systematic order for us to get further down in the system. Once I have a PlayStation, Steam, and Xbox, my job will truly be complete because I can load up the program in which characters and designs that I've created. It can't just be done by one system, and that's what I'm explaining. For those of you that want to really enjoy Elder Scrolls, stick with one console. That will do you wonders compared to thinking about the next step of buying another console. It's really really difficult, and it builds stress beyond stress if you're thinking about what is involved with the payment mechanisms. I'm explaining the payment mechanisms right now because you're not gonna want to get all of the systems. I have to get all of the systems because I have to get the designs in. And going over in here, it's of talking about Fire Song with the character to left. That was merely impossible to get that picture of the left inside of the screen in which you guys have seen beforehand. If you haven't gone over into fandom and you'll see what I'm talking about with the left, that the left has been mirrored now, and that is a great thing because now we have a character to depend upon for the game Farsong. That's an absolute blessing to be able to see one of the characters in a really unknown game in Elder Scrolls. Firesong is the current game DLC that's being looked at. If you don't understand what a DLC is, you don't have to understand the whole ins and out of what a DLC is. What does a DLC stand for? Game DLC. DLC. Digital. Let's just look at what possible things we look at on what an actual DLC is. Well, what's the D stand for? Most likely, the D stands for digital. There's not much information on what is considered an actual DLC. So this information just might be coming out with what I'm just writing. So just bear with me on here because I don't even know what the true meaning of what DLC is. So just bear with me because we might have to just use what I'm saying and what I'm writing. So we have the D as digital, or what a DLC is. It's going to be considered download, digital slash download. This is this could be good for math learning. Download download. This is good game theory of what actual meanings. Kind of like when you look at ESO, you're like, what the heck is ESO? Well, it's obvious to those of us that study Elder Scrolls every day. It's easy for us, those of us, to understand. But if you were just coming in, you're looking at this like, what is that? Now you understand how PlayStation cannot build cannot like realistically build a PSX. PlayStation is a gaming company in of itself, and there can be ideas lent from places like Steam and Xbox, but most likely PlayStation is not going to have a PSX. This is just a made up word that like of showing like a true connection, that imaginary and that will become real. That's a good thing. So in DLC, the D, what is it? What does it stand for? Does it stand for digital or does it stand for download? What's the main consensus? So we're going to go further on to what the L is. Learning, digital learning. So we're going to talk about game DLC. The game DLC. Fire Song is the game DLC that's being studied right now. So we're most likely lens, like the learning lens. DLC, learning, digital learn compact. This goes to further to where we're going to have a physical CD for high aisle. So bear with me on this because this is a very complex matter at hand. Because it's just when we first started looking at what ESO stands for. One of our ABCs. So what is the L stand for? Now there's tons of information on the internet, and you can't trust all of the information on the internet. So this is a good learning experience. So is it lens? Is that the lens of your device? Most likely not. It's so lens is probably not the term for DLC, like in the letter of L. What about library? These are kind of the three terms that are quite possibly the term names for the letter L. Library. Most likely library. Library. Download library. Digital library. Digital library. So the digital library, that's what's coming to me. It's digital library. That's what it looks like. So the C. Oh. For C. Like a C minus. A C plus plus. Where do we have code? We have digital library code. Code. Most likely it's the word for code. Okay, so we have. Is there any other names that come to mind? So, digital library code. Digital library code. Digital library code. Digital library code. DLC. Digital library code. Digital library code. All right. So you guys look in there and see if you have any information on what DLC stands for. This will be some good stuff that will come out on the internet from this as this guide is being made right now. Digital library. Libraries don't lie. Good. Good. This is some great stuff. Great learning stuff. So I am going to take a short recess break, if you want to call it. I'll be back. Digital library code. That's sounds good to me. That's makes sense and will make sense later on for when you guys get further in the system as you're learning about the wonderful world of game electronics. Well, I hope you have had a fun drive. If you drive during this time and you're watching this, you're thinking, yeah, this is some great stuff. So hopefully you learned a lot of information about the formula that's going to help us learn a lot more about what ULCs are considered in Elder Scrolls. It's a great thing to be looking at Firesong and growing within Firesong. There's a lot of things that can be grown. If you have the capability, put in the information if you can and get that monthly payment in, and definitely get that one-time fee paid, done, and over with, and we can move forward. That's all what this is about just being able to grow inside of the system and studying the insides of animations. Some pretty sweet stuff. Hopefully you have a good night, and if you have nothing better to do, check them out tonight at 7 p.m. As always for game night. It's going to be a fun night. Hopefully you have a good rest of the day.